Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, continuing inshallah with the book Collection of Wise Sayings written by Ibn Qayyim rahmatullahi alayh. This Imam, where he is extracting and deriving from the verses of Allah a number of wise statements for us to reflect. Some people, they're looking for brain food, something to ponder over and to reflect and to guide them in life. This is a beautiful guide for you. It consists of a number of topics. طيب ولو لم يكن. That's the part we stopped, huh? I believe here it says فإذا مات تلقته الملائكة بالبشرى من ربه بالجنة وبأنه لا خوف عليه ولا حزن وينتقل من سجن الدنيا وضيقها إلى روضة من رياض الجنة ينعم فيها إلى يوم القيامة. A person who is righteous and upright, from the glad tidings that he will attain is that the angels will meet him for him to receive glad tidings from his Lord about paradise. And that at that time, while his soul has been taken, the angels are giving him that glad tidings that you shall not fear nor grieve. Can you imagine? As your soul is departing your body, you're leaving this world and you're in states of fear of what is to come, in a state of sadness of what you're leaving behind. You have angels at your companions at that very moment saying, أَلَّا تَخَافُوا وَلَا تَحْزَنُوا وَأَبْشِرُوا بِالْجَنَّةِ الَّتِي كُنْتُمْ تُوعَدُونَ. Have no fear about your future, to what is to come, and have no sadness to what you're leaving behind, and receive glad tidings of a paradise. That is happening at the time when you're leaving this world. وَيَنْتَقِلُ مِنْ سِجْنِ الدُّنْيَا وَضِيقِهَا إِلَى رَوْضَ مِنْ رِيَاضِ الْجَنَّةِ. And he leaves from the imprisonment of this world and being so restricted to a garden from the gardens of paradise. يَنْعَمُ فِيهَا إِلَى يَوْمِ الْقِيَامَةِ, where he's in bliss until the day of judgment. You imagine, a person is in a state of enjoyment in his grave, receiving a window open of paradise, which is like a preview for him, until the hour is established. And as he's seeing this window before him, and he's taken slightly from its good smell and its khair, he's saying he wants the hour to be established there then, out of excitement. If you look, when you go to the graveyard, some of the people, the time they have spent under the ground is perhaps more than the time they spent above the ground. It's either a garden from the gardens of paradise or a pit from the pits of the hellfire. وَعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. فإذا كان يوم القيامة كان الناس في الحر والعرق وهو في ظل العرش فإذا انصرفوا من بين يدي الله أخذ به ذات اليمين مع أوليائه المتقين وحزبه المفلحين. So when it's the day of judgment, the people will be in a state of severe heat and being overwhelmed with sweat, while that person who's in that joy, he will depart from that garden, from the gardens of paradise, to being under the shades of Rahman. فإذا انصرفوا من بين يدي الله أخذ بذات اليمين. And if he departs from in front of Allah, he goes with his companions and his allies, the pious, to the right. وَذَلِكَ فَضْلُ اللَّهِ يُؤْتِيهِ مَن يَشَاءُ وَاللَّهُ ذُو الْفَضْلِ الْعَظِيمِ. That is the grace of Allah, He gives it to whom He wills. فصل ذكر ابن سعد في الطبقات عن عمر بن عبد العزيز أنه كان إذا خطب على المنبر فخاف على نفسه العجب قطع وإذا كتب كتابا فخاف فيه العجب مزق ويقول اللهم إني أعوذ بك من شر نفسي. Ibn Sa'ad, he reports in Tabaqat that the Khalifa, the rightly guided Khalifa, the one who they said resembled Umar al-Khattab, the one that achieved, that through his era, he brought back the reign of justice in Khilafah. Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, when he would give a khutbah, and he would be overwhelmed and he would be fearing upon himself that he's self-amazed, he would stop the khutbah. And if he wrote a book and he felt that it was bringing him self-amazement, he would tear it up. And he would say, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min sharri nafsi, wa Allah, I seek refuge from the evil of myself. That's why a khatib, every time he starts his khutbah, a person says, Allahumma inna na'udhu bika min shururi anfusina wa sayyiati a'malina. O Allah, we seek the refuge from the evil of ourselves. From the evil of yourself is from to be amazed of your speech, yourself, how you are, your accomplishments, your achievements. It is what has destroyed people before. The Prophet ﷺ said, min al-muhlikat, things that ruin people, it is self-amazement. When you look to how you are practicing, your accomplishments, you being upright in your deen, your memorization, and start to be amazed of yourself. This is where a person goes downhill. اعلم أن العبد إذا شرع في قول أو عمل يبتغي به مرضاة الله مطالعا فيه منة الله عليه. And that's why some of the Salaf, if they find themselves that if they're in a gathering and the number of the attendees is a lot, he becomes joyful. And then when the number of the attendees decrease, he'll become sad. He will say, this is a scary affair. For you to be your happiness and your sadness based upon the numbers of attendees, that's a scary affair, brothers. If a person, his drive is that, and he's affected by that, it's a scary matter. Yes, you want people to benefit in great numbers. إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا, and groups. But if you are connecting that to yourself, that when you have a lot of numbers attending you, you're happy. And when a lot less people are attending, you're sad. And perhaps you discontinue upon that. When there's little numbers, you don't want to teach anymore. That's a scary affair. As I mentioned, Sheikh bin Baz, he would have sometimes about 13 people in front of him. And he's the people that they refer to him as the Shaykh al-Islam of our time. And then they said that some other people, Abdurrahman Abdul Khaliq, some of those famous individuals that used to speak about controversial topics, that exciting topics for the youth, it was packed. But Sheikh bin Baz would teach the people, and take them back to the basics, teach them their deen, what they need to hear, what people call boring, teach them aqeedah. There's few people there. What happened to the other person's da'wah? Where happened to all those people attended? Little people, just an excitement. It's just like these, not to say resemble it. It's like person excited for a time period and then he just doze off. I remember it used to be for 1 week, person attend these fiery khutbahs and then he's back to square one. He's like, what happened? I attend a lecture? But the real thing that takes people is being nurtured and cultivated and taken back to the foundations, and a person cleansing you from the surface and starting your roots, your growth from the bottom. That's where khair happens, brothers. But a person to just continue going to listening to lectures or just going to this conference and he's not really being cultivated and cleansed and purified, there then he lacks. And one of the reasons why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the scholars have mentioned, Allah mentions that He dispatched His messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. يُزَكِّيهِمْ وَيُعَلِّمُهُمُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةِ. What does He do first? يُزَكِّيهِمْ, He purifies them. Then after that He teaches them, يُعَلِّمُهُمُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةِ. Then He teaches them Quran and Sunnah. So that's why Shaykh Albani used to say, التصفية ثم التربية. You need to purify the people first, cleanse them. A lot of the people have a lot of spiritual diseases. A lot of people have a lot of things that have ideologies that are wrong. You need to correct that first. Start from zero. Then you work the people up. As to teach people or give them lectures while they have some corrupted understandings or tampered things or spiritual issues, you're gonna find complications. طيب. Going back, inshallah, how much time we have left, brothers? That is the time. It's over. La ilaha illallah. 1 minute, huh? Maybe there's barakah in this 1 minute, Sheikh. So we'll stop with this amount, inshallah. This was intended as a reminder. These words of Ibn Qayyim must touch your heart. If you do any deed, always feel that you need to do more. The Salaf, whenever they do a righteous good deed, they'll feel that it was not enough. Ibn Umar, he said, if I knew that one deed was accepted by Allah, it would be the most joyful thing of mine. Ibn Umar. And he would read the ayah, إِنَّمَا يَتَقَبَّلُ اللَّهُ مِنَ الْمُتَّقِينَ. Allah only accepts from the pious. And he would fear that he said, I wasn't from the pious. Imam Shafi'i says, أُحِبُّ الصَّالِحِينَ وَلَسْتُ مِنْهُمْ. I love the righteous, but I'm not from them. Out of humbleness and humility. He didn't think he was righteous. And now we have people, they're overwhelmed of their accomplishments. They think they're going to die out of 100% Muslim. Die 100% upon the straight path. The Salaf used to fear upon himself. Do not be amazed of your knowledge. Do not be amazed of your righteous good deeds. Turn to Allah. Ask Allah to accept. We have a lot of shortcomings. Only if the people knew what we have of shortcomings, then they'll see the reality of ourselves. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to rectify us and to make us of those who hear speech and follow the best of it. وَالْمُؤَذِّنُ يُؤَذِّنُ. And those who are fasting, there's some refreshments in the kitchen for them. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك.